Hi, I hope you're having a good day. I know I post audio more than I do video, so I wanted to make sure and make a quick appearance this week. I also wanted to talk to you about our Unit 2, why we're analyzing fiction. I'm hoping that some of you are avid readers. I know not everybody is, and that's okay, but there really is a great value to reading fiction. It allows us to step into the shoes of someone else and figure out what we would do in different circumstances without necessarily being in them, especially for folks who likes fantasy stories. My guess is that you're probably never going to actually encounter a dragon, but it's fun to think about what you'd do if you did. That's also why we read other people's stories, and I talked about that in Unit 1. We read them so we can understand other people better. To analyze fiction, the best thing to do, the thing that I would ask you to do, and it's going to take time, is to read everything that we look at twice. The first time you read it for fun. Read it to see how you react without thinking about all of the different elements and moving pieces. It's sort of like looking at a painting for the first time. Instead of analyzing the colors and lines and negative space, you just look at it and ask yourself, what do I like? What do I not like? What do I connect with? I would say do that with the stories that we read in this unit. First, ask yourself, what do you enjoy? What do you not like? What maybe are you having trouble with? The second read is when we get into analysis. I wanted to go through the different pieces of literary analysis. I know you've done this in many other classes, but I still think it's important to set down a few ground rules about how we write about literature. First, write in third person. Never, never, never use first person because you're writing the piece, so I know it's from you. You don't need to say I think, or I feel, or I believe. It actually weakens your paper a little to use first person. Third person is more confident and keeps a strong academic tone. The second thing is to write in present tense. Every time someone opens that book or reads that story, all of the events happening are happening for the first time, so don't write about them in the past. Third, write with details. Who is the author? And make sure you spell their name right. What is the title of the piece? What information can you give us so we understand what you're talking about? Someone shouldn't have to have the story or book in front of them to read your analysis and still get it. Use quotes and keep them in mind. The best way to support what you're saying is to quote the author directly. If you feel like they have a really fun and whimsical tone, what are some of the words they use? If you feel like the conclusion or the ending wasn't solid, give me an example. Show me exactly where it is that you had a problem with. That way you'll be able to create a really good argument about your analysis. Are you going to love everything that we read? Probably not, but I want you, for good or for bad, to be able to analyze it well. And finally, write with confident language. This does not mean choose the biggest words. Sometimes I have students who like to go through a thesaurus and just get the bigger and bigger and bigger words. Instead, you want to look for the right words, the strong words that specifically say what you're talking about. Again, I'm really excited to read through these pieces with you. Some you'll like, some you won't, but either way, I know that by the end of the unit, you'll be able to write really powerfully about each of the pieces.